Good morning, Britain. Talking tough, the government threatens to jail rogue immigration lawyers. 15 asylum seekers have spent their first night on board the Bibi Stockholm barge, but around 20 who refuse to get on have been told they risk losing any government support.
The gloves are off here in Portland as the migrants are reportedly told by the Home Office that they have no choice but to accept the accommodation on the Bibi Stockholm, which is docked just behind me, or risk having their publicly funded hotel rooms withdrawn.
And it's not just migrants in the government's sights. The Home Secretary targeting what she describes as crooked immigration lawyers, warning them they'll get life in jail if they fabricate asylum claims.
Thousands of mourners are expected to travel to the coast of County Wicklow in Ireland this morning to pay a final farewell to Sinead O'Connor, who died last month.
In Scotland, the wait is almost over for tens of thousands of students about to receive their exam results.
Well, the last couple of years have been pretty tricky for pupils. They have had a lot to deal with, and this year again we expect the grading to reflect some of the challenges that these guys have had to face.
And with new research showing 1 in 6 GPs are defying NHS guidance and refusing to offer face-to-face appointments, is it time to scrap virtual consultations? Let us know if you think patients should be able to insist on their right to see a doctor in person.
Sunshine for some, showers for others. The details coming up, all that and more on Good Morning Britain.
Tuesday, 8th of August, 2023. Live from Television Centre in London. This is Good Morning Britain with Ranvir Singh and Ed Balls.
A very good morning to you. We do also, of course, have Nithya Rajan in Australia and Brisbane today. Oh, my goodness.
We're through.
The Lionesses. We are through on penalties.
I've got to say, I wasn't sure.
What drama.
I was not sure.
Oh, my goodness, what drama. And, you know, it tells you something. And we were talking about the way the Lionesses are being received and, you know, this World Cup in general. And I think that there are small indicators in all our lives where you go, oh, something's definitely changing in the conversation. I got in the taxi this morning and lovely Roy, who's been driving me for years, said, oh, my God, did you see the football last... You know, did you see the football? We talked about, of course, well, these are the penalties. Well done, Lionesses. Oh, my goodness. But what everyone's talking about is the red card. Lauren James.
Totally deserved. What was she doing?
Well, it was a yellow card first, wasn't it? And then on VAR, no.
To be honest, she's got a little bit of form for doing this, and she's, you know, it's one thing to do it when you're playing in the Premier League, but it's a different thing with VAR, top referees, international stage.
And she's done so well so far. She's been the breakthrough star, scored the one winning goal against Denmark, scored a couple against China, and now possibly faces a 3-match ban, which means missing... Yeah, Sean's here. Morning, Sean.
Good morning, yeah. That will be reviewed, or, you know, and
yeah,
that
she's
review
definitely
could then
missing the
rule
next
her
game
out.
against, is it Jamaica or
Colombia?
Or Colombia.
But that will be reviewed, and it could mean she's out for the rest of the tournament. And just those fine margins, those moments that, you know, of course it's hard playing in a game, she's exhausted, but just that decision, why did she do that?
Yeah, that's...
So
It was a decision.
It's just a little step.
Oh, no.
It was a decision. It's why she gets sent off. It's a classic British moment, this. Yeah. Classic British moment.
Well, everyone's thinking about when Beckham did it, right? So everybody remembers that, the flick of the foot up and the kick. And what did he get?
Got sent off.
He got sent off.
Obviously, then I don't know how many.
But don't forget, England then went out of the tournament.
Of course, yeah.
And you know.
Well, I bet how relieved is Lauren that on penalties they got through.
That is true. And look, she might end up playing in the final if she doesn't get the longer ban. But the key thing for her now is, does she bounce back? And does she do it the right way? And she could go on to be a big hero of women's football.
True.
But to do that, she's got to show some contrition, and then she's got to kind of win it back on the pitch. And, you know, same thing happened with Beckham. It's a very, very British story, this. And I say good luck to her, go for it.
Absolutely.
But what a stupid thing to do.
Oh, no. And Serena Wigman's sort of said, you know, it's a split second. Well, listen, we'll hear more from Nithya in a moment.
I don't
but we
think,
had to
should I be
touch
honest
on
with you?
it.
I don't think you should make excuses. I think there's too many... I think with the commentary at the moment, there's too many excuses. It wasn't just a split-second decision. She did it, and what she's got to say is, I was wrong, and I'm not going to do it again, and I'm going to show my football scoring goals, not kicking people. And that's her way back.
Yeah.
You can't dismiss it.
No.
It's a red card, and rightly so, and VAR showed it.
Yeah.
I think Ed Ball should be the next England manager. Blimey, that was, you know, it's great. Look at it.
That's what happens when you get to the top level. You can't just make excuses for it.
You're absolutely right. The other thing we want to talk to you about this morning, we're going to be debating it later on in the show, and we'd like to know your experiences, is about virtual GP appointments. Like that match, let it go. I mean, it's an issue that really annoys people.
I love them.
Right. Busy man. You don't want to go and sit in a waiting room.
I know my GP. Want to get sorted out quickly. The issue is not, are face-to-face appointments always the right way? The issue is, are there GPs who are never doing face-to-face? And, of course, sometimes it's hugely important to see the patient, understand them. But if it's a repeat person, you already know the GP, actually, a phone call or online is as good.
And lots of people prefer it. But we're talking about it and we want to know your experiences of it, please, this morning. Research by the Sunday Telegraph has revealed that 1 in 6 GPs are failing to allow patients face-to-face appointments. Of course, you have got the right to ask for one.
Totally contrary to the guidelines.
But often they will say, well, you can have a virtual appointment today, or you might have to wait 3 weeks to see someone face-to-face, and then, of course...
I know.
So we'll talk about that later on, but definitely let us know what you think.
GPs are detectives, and they've got to investigate, and sometimes the seeing of somebody is really, really important.
It really is. Right, so we've got people talking on both sides of that argument later, but your views... vital to us this morning as well to feed that debate. But let's get on with our main news this morning, and we start with where we started yesterday, I guess, with the asylum seeker story. A warning today to migrants and their lawyers. The Home Office has reportedly told asylum seekers that if they refuse to move onto the barge at the Bibi Stockholm, then they could lose all of their support, including any accommodation. At the same time, the government has warned immigration solicitors that they will face life in jail if they help migrants to fabricate fraudulent asylum claims. A new task force is being set up to identify suspicious applications. Our chief correspondent, Richard Gaisford, is at the Home Office. Greg Mackenzie is at Portland Port, where the Bibi Stockholm is moored. First, we talk to Richard. Richard, the government's been talking tough on illegal migration for years. It's actually set this goal to stop the boats this year. Is this a change in tactics?